the EP 2.0 brass annealer that can anneal from 300 blackout to 50 BMG and everything in between without having to add or remove any parts. Now, as of March 2021, we're currently shipping this to lower 48 states for $268. We plan on shipping out of the United States, and we definitely will let you know on the website when that's available. And that's www.epintegrations.com. But for $268 shipped to lower 48 states, that includes the power supply, the tank holder, a quality torch head, the brass pan, and obviously the annealer itself. And to do a quick overview of the EP 2.0 annealer itself, we have the stopper block, the brass stopper itself, the shim plate, the drum, the fence block, the fence, the on-off switch, LED readout, and your speed control. And on the back of the annealer itself, we have a power socket to plug in your power supply. I'll splice in a picture of that right now. And right out of the box, you are ready to anneal. Now, where the EP 2.0 annealer really shines is its adjustability. The fact that it can adjust from cartridge to cartridge in roughly 30 seconds or less is where it really shines. Now, this example right here is a 300 blackout. I'll let this cycle through a couple times. And then right after this, we will transfer over to 223. So I'm going to get the opening of the drum right in line with the adjustable fence. So right about there. So I'm going to grab one of my 223 casings, spin that shim plate home just a little bit, adjust the brass stopper, and get the fence. And where the back of the fence here is just in front of the shim plate, I'll lock that down, lock down the shim plate, and you are on to your next casing here. And this is 223. So let that cycle a couple times. And I'll get that drum opening to stop at the fence. So let's move on to something like 308. So very popular cartridges here. Lock down the shim plate, adjust the adjustable fence. This part is just in front of the shim plate itself. And I can speed this up, I can slow it down. And just to show that this can go all the way up to the big guns here, let's do something like 338 Lapua here. So get that. Next to the brass stopper is a gauge. So probably somewhere right about there. Adjust the fence. Let's show that that will cycle. And you can adjust this brass stopper wherever you want. Let this drop out. And even the big guns like 50 BMG, that's where you just kind of spin this all the way home. Take the fence all the way back. Maybe adjust out just ever so slightly. And you can go all the way up to 50 BMG, no problems. So let that cycle through once more. Speed that up, slow it down. I'll let this drop out. And that's where the EP 2.0 annealer really shines. Now, in this example, I'm annealing 50 total pieces of 6.5 Grendel brass. This is brand new Starline brass. And just to show you how quick and easy it is to anneal 50 total pieces of this brass. It's roughly about 6 seconds per anneal. Matter of fact, I'm going to count off this next one here. 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000, 5 1,000, 6. So roughly about 6 seconds per anneal. So just to give you a quick idea, if you're doing 50 total pieces like this at 6 seconds a piece, it's 300 seconds. That's roughly about 5 minutes per 50 pieces, you know, especially for the precision reloader that's reloading in small batches of 50 or 100. This is where the EP 2.0 annealer is really going to shine. And we are eventually going to come up with a case feeder, an automated case feeder, and we're working with Eagle Eye Shooting channel. Matter of fact, check out the description box below. I'll have a link to Eagle Eye's channel, and you can check out that automated case feeder that's eventually going to come to the website here soon. We're currently working on that, and we're testing the prototype. But as I'm doing this, I'm keeping an eye on this flame and making sure that the flame is staying consistent. And not all brass shows anneal marks the same. Brand new brass like this has never been cleaned before will show really rich, deep anneal marks on the brass itself. Brass that you just cleaned, freshly cleaned in a stainless steel wet tumbler, for pure example, if you were to nail that brass instantly, second you took it out of the dehydrator from being cleaned, it'll barely show any anneal marks at all. You know, better, higher quality brass will show deeper, more rich anneal marks. These Starline brass, 6.5 Grendel brass, is showing really nice anneal marks. Matter of fact, I will show you that here in a little bit. And you know, some brass like Lake City brass, you know, maybe not such high quality brass in comparison to something like Lapua or Starline brass, it might not show any anneal marks at all. So just keep that in mind when you're annealing your brass. All brass shows anneal marks differently. But when we get done annealing this here, I'm going to pick about 4 pieces of brass out of this brass tray just to show you how consistent these anneal marks are. And I know some of you guys like to anneal with a drill and a socket. There's nothing wrong with that. Everyone's got a different method to their madness. But in my personal opinion, if you want to get a consistent anneal, you really need a machine to consistently get that brass in and out of the flame consistently. And I know some people really want a hopper, but like I said, I usually reload in 50 to 100 pieces as a precision loader anyways. And like you see here, I'm almost done already, and this didn't take that long at all for 50 total pieces. And I'm almost done here already. And personally, in my opinion, if you're gonna load a hopper or you're loading an adjustable fence like this one at a time, you're still loading the machine, and you still gotta orientate the brass in the hopper. So for me personally, regardless if it has a hopper or not, or a single feed like this, I could really care less. As a matter of fact, that's why I designed it this way, to keep it simple, stupid. But like that, we are almost done. And I know some of you I've seen in forums, you're concerned about this brass stopper getting hot and affecting the body of the brass. And I'm going to purposely show you here that the brass stopper being hot doesn't affect the body of the brass whatsoever. Matter of fact, just to prove that point, I am going to pull this one out right here. This is cooled down now. I'm going to set this off to the side and let this last one get annealed. And let me set this off to the side, and I'm purposely going to get this brass stopper hotter than it'll ever be. I'm going to get this flame right on the brass stopper. I'm going to get this thing smoking red hot. It's going to be blazing hot. And I don't advise anyone doing this, but just to prove a point, this thing is smoking hot, hotter than it'll ever be during the anneal process, that this does not affect the body of the brass whatsoever. And this isn't even remotely hot. Obviously, I'm picking this up right away, and it is not hot whatsoever, and it's not affecting the body of the brass at all. So like all flame-based annealers, obviously the torch head is going to be extremely hot. Your brass is going to be hot the second it drops out of the flame. And definitely make sure you are not touching that brass stopper, and to keep an eye on the EP 2.0 annealer during your annealing session and even after the annealing session until everything is completely cooled down. Man, oh man, look at that 6.5 Grendel Starline brass. You know, that anneals roughly about 1/4 of an inch down on the body. That's pretty much what you're shooting for. And I'm looking at all these anneal marks, and they look really, really consistent. Matter of fact, let me randomize this up here a little bit. I'm going to grab about 4 pieces of brass, set them off to the side here. So I'm not cherry picking here for you guys. Just to show you how consistent these anneal marks are. And man, look at that. that is what it's all about, getting a consistent anneal. Well, I hope you enjoyed this quick little video showcasing the EP 2.0 annealer, annealing 50 total pieces of 6.5 Grendel Starline brass. And if you're itching to get your hands on this annealer, check out the description box below. I'll have a link to www.epintegrations.com where you can make that immediate purchase. If we happen to be out of stock at the time, send us an email at epintegrations@hotmail.com. Let us know you want to get on that email notification list if we happen to be out of stock at the time. We'll also have a link down below to our YouTube EP Integrations channel with a much more detailed video showing you how, at least how I anneal brass using the glow method. And also a link to Kenny's channel at Eagle Eye Shooting. We're going to be working in collaboration with him to bring a specific fence with a special sensor in there to get this automated using a case feeder, not a hopper where you have to orientate that brass in the hopper. An actual case feeder where you just throw handfuls of brass into a case feeder and it will automatically orientate that brass and feed it into the EP 2.0 annealer. That is coming soon to the website. So make sure you check out those links below, and I will see you guys in the next video.